Abandoned asylums have always carried a certain kind of darkness. The peeling paint, the echo of empty halls, the stories of the people who were left behind inside their walls. Tonight, I'll be sharing 3 true asylum horror stories that will make you think twice before stepping into one of these forgotten places. Each story comes from people who swore they would never return to what they experienced. So dim the lights, settle in, and listen closely. You've stepped into the workshop of the Misery Tailor, where every stitch binds you tighter to the dark. Story 1. Lights in the Playroom. People think exploring abandoned places is about daring. It isn't. It's about quiet, the kind that tells you whether a building has forgotten you or whether it's waiting. I used to film urbex videos with my friend Danny. She had nerves like still water. We chose Ashfield State Hospital because it had a children's wing. The playroom sat at the end of the annex. A mural of clouds had sagged down the wall like melting sky. Windows were X-taped decades ago. The tape left brown scars. We found wooden blocks, a fossilized rubber ball, a rocking horse with one ear, and 8 jars of dead moths. Every outlet's faceplate was gone. The wires were capped like bandaged nerves. We filmed B-roll, fake brave banter. Then a giraffe lamp in the corner clicked on. Not the ceiling lights. Those were dead. This was a homey, warm glow that made the dust pretty. The cord ran to an outlet with no faceplate and disappeared. The giraffe lamp began to blink. Office on, a steady beat. Not random. After 5 blinks, I realized I was counting with it. A mushroom lamp lit on the opposite shelf. Then a ceramic owl. They blinked in a pattern that wasn't quite music and wasn't quite Morse. The room breathed with it. We announced we were leaving, to the room, not each other. The lamps held steady. The door eased shut without a touch. Not slammed, just closed, like a teacher beginning a lesson. I twisted the knob. It turned, but the door felt glued to the air beyond it. From down the hall, a child began to count. 1. All the lamps clicked off. The mural's clouds became bruises. 2. The exit sign glowed to life, red as a wound. The corridor looked longer than it should. 3. Giraffe lamp blinked once, like a syllable. 4. I turned on my phone flashlight. The beam shuddered, like someone was breathing on it. 5. Danny whispered, "It's 4 and 1. Like heads down, thumbs up. They're playing with us." On 6, the door opened an inch. On 7, it closed that inch again. We were getting it wrong. I tried adult talk. "We're leaving now. Thank you for letting us film." The mural drank my voice. The owl lamp blinked twice. A slow no. The child started over. 1. At 8, a rubber squeak joined the count. Not a bounce. Bounce, roll, stop. Then a scrape, like a ball pressed under a small palm and dragged back to the start. Then, all at once, day, every lamp on, exit dark. Counting stopped. Whoever was playing got bored. We shoved the door, its side open, relieved. We ran. In the glass corridor, sunset pooled like dirty water. At the outer door, Danny yelped. Her camera strap stuck to the knob. I pulled. The leather peeled away in a long, thin strip, as if a small hand had held it too tight for too long. We didn't go back. At a diner, I checked audio. Under our whispers and footfalls was the counting, a watermark from the moment we entered until the door opened. After we left, it kept going but slower, like someone falling asleep. At 2:13 a.m., Danny texted a 7-second clip from her bedroom. Darkness. The smoke detector's green LED pulsed on the ceiling. Blink, blink, pause. 4 and 1. The camera hunted focus, as if something small passed in front of it. I watched it on loop till dawn. In the last second, the LED changed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The way kids count when you're hiding, and they want you to know they'll find you no matter where you go. A brief smear of light slid across the wall, the shape of a hand too small to be hers, pressed flat and gliding away. Danny moved out a week later. She says her new place is quiet. Mine isn't. Some nights my room fills with giraffe lamp glow. 4 and 1. I removed the smoke detector batteries. It still blinks. That's not a haunting, I tell myself. That's electricity. But last week, as I was drifting off, a little voice whispered beside my bed the number we never reached in the playroom. Ready or not, you're it. Story 2. The Archivist. I'm not a ghost hunter. I'm an archivist. The county hired me to catalog files left behind in the administrative wing of Brookridge Asylum, a place I'd only ever seen in ruin porn photos. I'm good with boxes and dates. I like order. I like being invisible in the stacks. That's why I took the job. They set me up behind the old admissions office. The door read, Records 12B, the B hand-painted and wrong. Rows of gray banker's boxes, a dented microfilm reader, a reel-to-reel recorder asleep on the table. No windows, just a buzzing fluorescent that sounded like a mouthful of bees. Day 1. Ledgers, restraint orders, incident reports with names blacked out. Faded Polaroid stamped 1974. I learned not to stare at faces. Day 3. I found a patient index card where it didn't belong. Annette Prill. Ward pattern. I knew the schematics. No such ward. I slid the card aside. Wrote myself a note. That night I dreamed of thread. Hundreds of strands hanging from the ceiling, sticking to my lips like webs. Day 4. More index cards. Same ward. Pattern. When I opened a drawer to file them, there was already a tab labeled pattern in my handwriting. The slant of the R was mine. I hadn't written it. At the bottom of box 12B-17, a 7-inch tape reel. Unmarked, sleeve smudged. I shouldn't have, but I loaded the reel-to-reel and pressed play. Tape clicks, hiss room tone, footsteps, a steady, clinical voice. Brookridge Asylum, ward, pattern. He listed names, staff, then years, then my supervisor, then my name. Slow, as if fitting a suit to it. I slapped stop, rewound, played again, just hiss, and a single scrape like a chair on concrete. My name was gone. I took the tape to the hall for air. The corridor was a tiled throat with dead exit signs. Far off, a metal door breathed. I went back in and worked without sound. At closing, I left the tape by the machine, turned off the light, locked up. As the key turned, papers slid inside like a polite cough. Day 5. The pattern tab was gone, replaced with twine tied neatly around the drawer. A tag, retire to long storage. No date, no initials. I cut the twine, found the index cards ordered by years, not names. On the backs of 3, scraps of hospital gown cotton were taped down. Under them, hemmed, fitted, retired. I decided to escalate. I called my supervisor, voicemail. I typed an email and left it in drafts because even typed out, it sounded like unraveling. At 2 p.m., the tape machine clicked on by itself. Whir, a new voice, whispering, hoarse, fabric against fabric. You're filing yourself. We only needed your hands. I yanked the plug. The reels kept spinning, finished a final sentence. Retire to long storage. Then stopped like an obedient dog. Panic hit. I boxed the pattern cards to take to the county office. I reached for packing tape and froze. The dispenser was threaded with red thread where tape should be. It lay over the roller, waiting to be pulled. I threw it. The casing cracked, spitting a coil across the floor. The thread looped my ankle, tightening until the table shuddered an inch. That broke me. I ran. Left lights on, door ajar, my bag, my notes, everything. My supervisor called that night, irritated. I said I quit. She told me to return the key and sign a form. I agreed, in daylight, with someone present. Next morning, the door to Records 12B had changed. The painted B was gone. A brass plate now read, long storage. Inside, bare walls, shelves, cabinets, reader, gone. Sunlight poured from a window that hadn't existed. Centered on the floor, a banker's box. My handwriting on the lid. My name. The call number I would have assigned. Inside, my pen from freshman year. The scarf I'd lost, a keychain I dropped in a taxi, all bundled with red thread. On top, my county ID, photo side up, punctured and sewn like a button. A note beneath, retired to pattern. I set the lid, backed into the hall, left the key on the threshold. and walked away without turning my back, afraid hands would bloom from the paint. I don't work archives anymore. I buy and sell estate books at flea markets. I sleep with the closet light on. Some nights I wake with cotton taste on my tongue, as if I've been chewing through thread to get free. Story 3. The Security Guard. This came from Michael, who worked night security at an abandoned asylum in Pennsylvania in 2012. The county hired guards to keep out vandals. He figured it'd be boring, sit in the car, patrol twice, easy money. The first nights were uneventful. Graffiti, broken wheelchairs, doors hanging on a hinge. The place smelled like mildew and rust. On the 5th night, footsteps on the 2nd floor, heavy, deliberate. Trespassers, he thought. He radioed, climbed the stairs. The hall was empty, peeling paint, an overturned gurney. "This is private property," he called. "You need to leave now." Silence. A door slammed at the far end. He sprinted, yanked it open. Bare room. No windows. No way out. He backed into the hall. A whisper breathed against his ear. "Get out." He spun. Nothing. Then a wave of light. The dead hallway fixtures flickered on one by one, racing toward him, then past, lighting the corridor all the way to the fire stairs, as if showing him a path. He ran. The side exit stuck as if a palm pressed it shut from the other side. He hit it with his shoulder. It gave. He didn't stop until he was in the car, tires spitting gravel. Next morning, he quit. That night, he woke to the sound of footsteps 2 floors up in his apartment building. Same cadence, same weight. He said it sounded like someone who had learned where to find him. 3 warnings, 3 sets of doors you should never open again. If you do, remember what waits, where the lights still remember the pattern. Another pattern complete, another nightmare sewn shut. Until next time, I'll be waiting with needle and thread.